Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Luke, aka KRS Taylor. Uh, I am going to be doing a healing video again. The last video I did was, it's not that it was bad, it was just probably not as good as it could be. And what I basically did with my last video, guys, was I went through and I made it and I broke it down into parts, and I'm going to do the same thing with this video. That being said, like, bear with me because as I progress through my different topics and whatnot, I will probably stop or pause. That's just to allow me to, once I upload it to YouTube and whatnot, to be able to break it down into parts easier. Um, and then, for those of you who don't know, I did do a pretty good write-up on this guide as well. For those who don't like videos and would rather just read it. It's over there on WildStar forums under the Esper subtopic. I'm also going to probably redo my Reddit post. I know I haven't really paid much attention to it. All my focus has been on the WildStar forums, but once this video is completed, I'll probably go back and do some more, maybe post a topic and let people know, hey, this is a guide, you guys feel free to check it out. Maybe give you some tips and knowledge and awareness of how to play the healing Esper better. Um, Also, I do want to note that, since I did post a lot of things on WildStar forums, this guide rather, on there, I got a lot of good feedback. Some of it was sort of critical, like I was expecting, but overall, I think it got a lot of good feedback, and um, I was able to edit the guide and make changes appropriately due to people having more experience in WildStars. Specifically, like, my experience is in GA up to Omna with my guild, Interstellar Command. So a lot of the experiences they shared were after that, and when you get into Datascape, things change a lot from what I understand and what people have shared. So a lot of the things I'm going to share, it does pertain still to Datascape type guides, but more or less it's for that new Esper coming in. Drop 4 came out, and to my honest, humble opinion, it made WildStar what it should have been at launch, honestly. Um, and made things a lot better, a lot less bugs, and a lot more fun for new players coming in, and forgiving, if you will, because this game is, I'll just say it, it's a hardcore game. There's a lot of concepts in it that, you know, uh, make it difficult on new players coming in that may have some prior MMO experience. So there's, still a lot of work that it still needs, I believe. But for the most part, they've cleaned it up really well, and so thank you, Carbine, um, for making the game better for more people to play. Hopefully, we'll see more people come in. I know I've already seen a good influx of new players come in now. So anyway, that being said, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover in sort of an introduction. Um, let's jump right into stat priority for the healing Esper. Um, right, I got my character sheet up here, and you can see what I, have so far and whatnot. Um, when you are stat prioritization, God, I can't talk. Let me try that again. When you're going after or looking what stats you should look for as a healing Esper, I should say. Um, the first stat you should always go after is, of course, it's a no-brainer, insight. Um, you know, it's paramount that you go after this ability because it gives you support power. Um, 1 insight equals 0.5 support power. Okay. Um, And you'll note that you have ranks and you have these little milestones on each one of the ranks. And what the milestones do, as I mouse over it, is it gives you additive support power when you reach a certain point of insight, as well as strike through rating. Now, strike through rating was something they added with drop 4 into the milestones. So it's not a huge deal, but it is somewhat of a big deal if you run pyro. I know in previous drops, like running tier 4 pyro would deflect, and that would really suck a lot. So it it's nice. I'm not going to get real excited about it though. But anyway, um, so getting back to what I was talking about with stat priorities, you want to prioritize insight, of course, first and foremost. And the reason you stick with insight over support power before you get the milestones, well, that is the reason why you stick with insight is because the milestones offer more support power. Now, the last milestone you can get via insight is 1680 insight. After you reach this point, support power becomes paramount, um, becomes king, if you will, over insight. Simply because there's no other milestones to reach, and so therefore you can't get additive support power from them. That's the only reason why insight was paramount first. So you pretty much looking at support power, and keep this in mind too when you're ruining. I'll talk about it a little more there, your gear and whatnot. But so you start with insight to 1680, then you once you reach that milestone, you go towards support power. It's pretty much most people will say, well, I should stop there and not continue anymore with the stat priority. But I'm going to go ahead and follow it through. The next stat priority you should look at, but you should really never focus on in your ruining, which I'll talk about later, is focus recovery. You want your focus recovery around, to be honest, I picked 4.0. I have gone under and I have gone over. With gear changes and upgrades and raids and whatnot. But that's what I would suggest, simply because, we are a low focus type of healing class. So, it's not as paramount with the Espers as it is for the Spellslingers and medics to stack focus recovery, either in ruining or in stats. We get more than enough focus recovery from our gear, though. I will say that. So, if you're geared up pretty well, then you don't even have to worry about that. And the same thing with crit hit and crit severity. Basically, for those new espers, crit severity, I'll mouse over the tooltip. This is a percentage of bonus healing or damage caused by a critical hit. So basically, when you do crit, having more crit severity allows for a stronger crit, if you will. In summary, you want insight on your stats all the way up to 1680, at which point support power becomes paramount on stats. You want your focus recovery to, right around be 4.0. I have 4.33 right now. Then you want critical hit. Then you want critical severity. Now, I will throw a note in there again because I know somebody's going to jump on the bandwagon or just jumped in or whatnot and get on me about it. But, it's one of those things where when I'm talking about stats, it's insight first and foremost, support power. You can go all the way up to like 4,000 plus, and see more effects to your healing as a result, because that scales your support power or what have you. scales off all of your support abilities that you use. So naturally, the higher support power you're going to get, the better heals you're going to do. So uh, again, you don't have to really focus on focus recovery or crit hit chance or severity. Um, you know, it's just one of those things where you get plenty from the gear and you don't bust from the raid. Medics gives us 6% crit, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, I would still focus and follow those stat priorities as best you can. It's more or less a guidelines for new espers coming in and inexperienced to the class, so to speak. So anyway, that covers what I wanted to touch on with stat priority. Give me a few minutes and we'll jump into rune slots next. Just gonna check the dashboard to see if anybody had any questions.